Hey guys, Steve here from Bloom Audio. Pathfinder is the latest collaboration between Campfire Audio and Astell&Kern. So we're going to take a look at how it combines key aspects from both brands into one amazing IEM. There's a lot to Pathfinder. So we're going to take a look at a few aspects and some of the ways it reflects both brand pedigrees and also just, is it good? So we'll start with the packaging. We'll do a little unboxing for you. We'll talk about the sound and do a comparison with 64 Audio U12T and the Noble Audio Jade, and wrap it up with some of my final thoughts. All right, let's check this thing out. So as usual, this is our demo unit. It's been opened, thoroughly examined, listened to, and all of that. But we packed it back up so that you could enjoy this lovely unboxing experience. Astell&Kern does know how to make an unboxing experience. Let's check it out. Slide this off, and we get a case. Flip it open, and bam. There are your IEMs. Nice looking IEMs for sure. So we pop this off and take out the cable. Check out the IEMs themselves, hopefully without accidentally destroying something. My meat hooks over here. So this cable, as you can tell, it's like a flat wound. It's a bit of a different design. It's pretty cool. I like the look of it. And does detangle pretty easily. Look at that. So these are the IEMs themselves. You can see it has this sort of lopsided pyramid prism design that Astell&Kern really likes. But from here, this looks a lot like a Solaris, like a 2020 Solaris, with a little bit of that fancy AK design on it. Very nice overall though. Put this aside and check out the rest of the package. So pop this off. Oh, probably would have been a lot easier to push the IEMs back through that. So this is the Campfire Audio portion of the presentation. We get this sort of standard Campfire case. And when I put the pouches in, I didn't do a very good job, so there we go. So if you guys know Campfire Audio, I'm sure you've seen these pouches 100 times. The bigger one has your ear tip selection, so we get some Campfire Audio marshmallows, some final E-tips, and some of these Campfire Audio silicones as well, with the cleaning tool. Anything else in there? Nope. Now, one of the sort of the coup de grace with this is you don't just get the one cable. You get the same cable in balance 4.4 and balanced 2.5. So it really ends up being a nice package overall, from the presentation to the contents of getting that extra 2 cables in there that you might not have been expecting. And it's just, again, really nice design here that does definitely have, you say it says Campfire Audio on this side, Astell&Kern on the other side. And just visually, there's aspects of this that both say Astell&Kern and aspects that say Campfire Audio. So very cool. The physical design definitely evokes the Campfire Solaris in a few spots. And the sound does as well. There's this sort of, somewhat neutral, slightly warm, balanced sound to the Pathfinder that is similar to the Solaris. But there's some clear refinements and updates here as well that makes Pathfinder really its own animal. The bass has a nice extension with a slow elevation from the mid bass into the sub bass. I really like this kind of bass because it works well with a lot of genres. In genres that aren't requiring a lot of bass, you still get a little bit of that emphasis there. Things like classic rock or a lot of jazz. But in more modern electronic genres and that sort of thing, that lift into the sub bass really comes alive and gives you that rumble and that bass presence that the track really needs. And Pathfinder does this really well. Often with hybrid design IEMs, with a dynamic for the bass and some number of balanced armatures for the mids and highs, you're expecting some amount of recession in the mid-range. Pathfinder doesn't really do that, giving you a lot of weight in the low mids and presence in the upper mids. So, this is particularly notable with vocals. With Pathfinder really has amazing presentation of the vocals, very lifelike, intimate vocal presentation. And in the lower mids, you get that texture. In the bass, you get that weight to instruments that really just demonstrates that detail and adds some articulation into the bass as well from the mids. Moving into the treble, you get just a slightly smooth sound. Pathfinder does have, crisp delivery of things like cymbals, but there's just a little bit of smoothness there at the top and definitely a more non-fatiguing sound. Pathfinder is not too different from the Solaris in some of these ways, but I think the way the mids are contoured in the delivery there definitely demonstrates a level of refinement from that and some improvements there. The soundstage and imaging is another place where Pathfinder really takes it to the next level with that sense of space, the three-dimensionality, and the holographic feeling of the imaging is all really strong, and I think is something that sets Pathfinder apart as really its own thing here and not just another update on Solaris. There are only three certainties in life: death, taxes, and that any IEM in the $2,000 range will inevitably be compared to the U12T. So, with the Pathfinder, we thought it necessary to pull out the U12T to do a comparison there. We also grabbed the new Noble Audio Jade, which is a little bit less expensive. It hits around the $1,200 range. But we thought it would be good to compare Pathfinder to another hybrid as well as the balanced armature U12T. While you have three different configurations here, U12T is 12 balanced armatures, Pathfinder is 1 dynamic and 2 balanced armatures, and Jade is a 5-driver hybrid. The overall sound characteristics are fairly similar here. They all sort of fit into this same somewhat Harmon-esque, soft V or warm neutral sort of ecosystem with just some subtle differences between the three IEMs. In some way, the build may actually be one of the biggest differences between the three. Jade is that classic resin sort of custom look to it with that really nicely designed faceplate. U12T is the simplest of the three with just an aluminum shell and faceplate. A little bit more of a, that pro audio heritage there. In Pathfinder, it takes a similar material design to U12T, but definitely a lot more design and artistry that goes into the look of Pathfinder than U12T. In terms of the sound signature, Jade definitely has the most bass of the three with the strongest impact and definitely the most mid-bass presence, but it doesn't quite have the speed or articulation that U12T and Pathfinder has. U12T has great sub-bass extension and speed, but since it's balanced armature, it's not as physical as Pathfinder or Jade. I think Pathfinder really strikes the balance here in having that physical impact and dynamics in the bass while remaining fast and articulate. In the mids, both Jade and U12T are just pulled back a little bit, while Pathfinder remains fuller and richer. And this is particularly notable in vocals, where Pathfinder really just has this strong, lifelike presentation of the vocals, while in the low bass, Pathfinder also has the low mids. Pathfinder does have that really strong texture we talked about. U12T has a little more texture and detail in the low mids, while Jade is the one that more loses a little bit and is maybe a little bit prone to some low mid bloat there. U12T really gets a chance to shine in the treble, where it does have this bit of air, this sparkle, and it adds to the sense of space as well that the other two can't quite match. Again, Pathfinder's the treble is a little bit smooth, still crisp, and there's still good extension largely there, while Jade is a little smoother even than Pathfinder and less emphasis at the top. In the soundstage and imaging, U12T is still the winner here, but Pathfinder is very close. I feel U12T just feels a little bit wider, a little bit more holographic, but Pathfinder does have those characteristics. This is where Jade comes up a little bit short, where the soundstage is decent sized IEM soundstage, but it just doesn't have that same sort of wow feeling to the image, to the spatial characteristics as Pathfinder or U12T. Overall, if you are looking at IEMs in the $2,000 range, or just, top-end flagship IEMs in general, Pathfinder definitely belongs in that conversation. Really, the difference between Pathfinder and U12T is going to come down to minor preferences. Do you want that dynamic in the bass to give you a little bit more presence, a little more impact, along with those fuller mids? Or do you like that sense of resolution the U12T gives you and that slightly more enhanced sense of space? And considering the price difference, Jade does quite well also, and definitely is one to watch down closer to the $1,000 range in IEMs. The design, the packaging, the presentation of Pathfinder is all very much Astell&Kern, but the engineering and the sound is definitely Campfire Audio. While Pathfinder owes some lineage to Solaris, it's really with the new drivers and all the refinement and tech that goes into that, it's really its own thing. It stands apart from Solaris and stands as Campfire Audio's best hybrid design we've heard yet, and one of the best new IEMs of 2022. Thanks for watching. You can check out Pathfinder and a lot of other great products at bloomaudio.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll be back soon with more hi-fi personal audio content.